Now, Gisele, supermodel, world famous, absolutely gorgeous woman, and now divorced. However, she's still in an extremely good position compared to so many other divorced women in that she has actually made money in her own right. She was a wealthy woman even before she married, so she came out of it in terms of financially, no problem. I guess the only was just emotional hurt that she went through. Now, with her, she was born, we're looking at a chart, she was born in 1980 in July the 20th, and that was at 4:17 p.m. in Brazil. So from that, we formulated her chart and her 4 pillars chart. And her year, she is a yang metal monkey. Her month is a yin water goat. Her day pillar is yang wood horse. And her hour pillar is yang water monkey again. So it looks like she's got 2 monkeys and metal and water, both yang and yin water. And in amongst that, she does have a horse and goat. Looking at that, it looks like she does have a horse and goat combination. It is what we call a 6 harmony combination. So that does produce fire, though not as strongly as, say, a seasonal combination. So in her chart, it looks like, trying to look at it, bit of fire there, metal and water. So we can say it's the fire is actually a bit more prominent there, being that it is from a combination. So we can say it's more like a slight output chart because of the horse and the goat combination. However, I would say she can be a changing chart, so to speak, because that combination and that effect is actually rather weak. So she is an output, but not a actually definite output, because if anything else comes along, then it could and combines with other stuff, and then her chart would change. Her dynamics would change. And so what do we say about changing charts? People with changing charts. We say that they usually are or should go into the entertainment sphere, like particularly acting, because being an actor, you actually have to be able to take on another persona, a change according to the roles that you're in. And kind of like being an entertainer, well, you're there to make people happy, entertain people, no matter how miserable you might be feeling personally yourself. And what about modeling? Yes, modeling, they model all sorts of different clothes, I guess, in different situations and so forth. And in the fact that, yes, it is a kind of a bit of a different persona, probably not as much as being an actor would, but there's an element of it still there, because they're always dressed up as, let's say, different looks, so to speak, and doing the runways and different seasons. And so they kind of like have to be adaptable to changing trends and so forth, and be willing to have people model them up or style them to something else all the time. So that kind of like fits in with her chart as well. Obviously, though, you have to have the right genetics. Unlike in acting, it is to a certain extent, but there's always certain roles. Even if someone has, say, dwarfism or extremely tall, or someone overweight or something, you can just think of actors like De Niro or Danny DeVito and so forth. There's always some sort of role for them. Whereas modeling is actually quite specific. You have to have very clear skin, good proportions, and certain height requirements and figure requirements, and and have certainly the right look for it as well. I guess how photogenic are you? Some people, they might look absolutely fantastic outside, but for some reason it just does not translate onto camera. And some people that don't look particularly nice outside, well, they look but they photograph so well. And I guess those people end up being photographic models rather than so much runway models. But then again, if you see the types of models that are doing the runways, and I guess particularly the expressions on their faces, you'll probably think, yeah, probably height and thinness is the only requirement necessary for them. But anyway, she has done extremely well, being world famous model, so to speak. So let's have a look at her career, what she's done. So it all started, I guess, way back in 1995, where she moved to Sao Paulo to launch her modeling career. And having a look at that time, she was in the yin metal luck cycle, and 1995 was a pig year. So what does the pig do? The pig combines with the goat as well. It forms a half combination of wood. And so this is the thing what I said, her chart would change because she's just so weak output that it can change when there's another combination that comes out. So she'll be dominant. Because she's yang wood and this is another wood combination, she's become dominant wood in that year. Now, 1996, that was a rat year, and then she debuted in New York Fashion Week. Okay, so the rat then would have combined with both of her monkeys, and that is a half combination of water. So then she's changed to being resource chart. Changed again. Now, year 1997 to the year 2000, that's when her career beginnings, it started to really take off. And because that time, 1997 was an ox, 2000 was a dragon, and that period was during the snake luck cycle. Okay? And the snake, what did the snake luck cycle do? Well, the snake combined with a horse and a goat to form what we call a seasonal fire combination, summer, so to speak. And that is the strongest fire. So then she was definitely locked into a pattern during that time. She was output. And output is being creative. So that's when it was I guess they had formed some stability for her. She was an output, and that's when her career really took off. She fronted Vogue covers, on the cover of Vogue magazines. She walked the runway for Marc Jacobs, Michael Kors, Dolce & Gabbana, Dior, Valentino, you name it, all those luxury fashion houses. And in 1999, she actually was named the Vogue Model of the Year. So there you go. Lots of things happened for her during that period. Her career really took off. And in the year 2000, she was named as the most beautiful girl in the world. Okay, and Vogue called her the world's hottest model, a Brazilian bombshell. Though her background is actually German. If you look at it at her appearance and also the surname, it's really much a German. She is German ethnicity. Now, the next part in the year 2000 to 2009, she changed again. Okay, and that became yang. She was in the yang metal luck cycle this time. And then that was a lot of metals, so she then became Follow Power. And that's when her she had modeling breakthrough, her international success, and she debuted in acting as well. She had some small parts. I think she was in The Devil Wears Prada, though I think not as a model. She was actually her role was as some assistant or something. And I think she actually put it in that she didn't want to play the role of a model because I guess you've been doing it all the time out there. You don't want to have to go and act as a model as well. So I can thoroughly understand why she wanted not to be a model in the movie. She wanted to act as something else. Next, in the year 2009 to 2011, she had continued success. And in that time, she had the dragon luck cycle. So the dragon then combined with her monkey and became water. So she changed back to resources. And then 2012 to now, she's done music modeling campaigns, music endeavors. And that was, during the rabbit luck cycle. So now the rabbit luck cycle, like the pig, it combined with the wood and to form a half wood combination. And then so she became dominant wood again. Now, what about her love life? Okay. Well, in the year 2000 to 2005, she was with Leonardo DiCaprio. And that was in a yang metal luck cycle. Okay. And it was right that they actually did break up because yang metal for her would be improper power and therefore he would have been an improper spouse. So I'm not surprised at all that she broke up with him after the period finished. Now, and then after Leonardo, 2006, it was the dog year, 2006. Now, and that was when she met Tom Brady. Now, the dog combines with the horse, which is her house of spouse. And there you go. She was able to meet a spouse or, a significant other. In this case, it became a very significant because he became her first husband. Only husband so far. And in 2009, during the ox year, and in a dragon luck cycle, they married. Okay? And in 2022, they eventually divorced. And what year was 2022? That was a tiger year. Now, the tiger combines with a horse. And normally when that appears, if you're single, there's a chance to meet someone significant. However, if you're already married, then it's a chance that you can divorce, which they did. So that is Gisele. So what about Tom, her now ex-husband? Tom Brady. He is a American football star. Now, see who has since retired. Well, he is in his 40s now. And his birthday, he was born at 10:33 a.m. on the 3rd of August, 1977. So that makes him a yin fire snake on the year, yin fire goat on the month. The goat, same as Gisele, a goat, and yang water dragon on the day and yin wood snake on the hour. So what does that mean for him? Well, looking at it, there's absolutely no combinations there, so we will call him absolutely a changing chart. Okay, so he can change with whatever luck cycle he encounters or whatever year or even whatever month. So someone like that, like I was saying, not only the best occupations for them normally would be is an acting, but also people like that are more fickle because they're not locked into a certain pattern, so they can change a lot. And he has been a extremely successful footballer in the US. I mean, throughout, he started in high school footballing and then college footballing, and then he turned professional. So 2000 and, where were we saying? In the year 2000, in the dragon luck cycle, in dragon year, and that was a snake luck cycle. He's got two of them as well on his chart, the dragon and the snake, and that was his rookie season. Okay, and then in 2003 was a goat year, and 2004 was monkey year. He had back-to-back Super Bowl wins. So he does have the goat on his month. Now, the month also represents your career, not as well as your business. And the monkey there, it combines with his snake there to produce a half metal combination. His snakes. So, and that time he would have had resources. So he had the support because his young water had support from the metal that's generated from the monkey and snake combination. Now, in 2006, that was a dog year. And that actually clashed with his dragon, which governs his house of spouse. Now, and that's when he met Gisele. So you might be thinking, well, it's not a combination, it's a clash. So how could you meet someone? And yes, it does work as long as the house of spouse gets activated, either through combination or clash, something is going to happen in your love life. And because he was single back then, he met someone. Okay, he met Gisele. Now, 2007 was a pig year. It combined it with the goat. So he had wood. Then he became something else. He became an output person. And he had a perfect regular season. 2008, though, was the rat year. And that was an injury for him. That was pretty much an injury year. So not that good. Combination with the dragon, and that produced water. So that was the same as his day pillar, which is yang water. So obviously he doesn't really like water. I guess to him that was the competition. Now, 2009 was an ox year, and he returned from injury with the ox year, 2009. And the oxen, combined with his snakes to produce metal again, and therefore it was resources. So that actually gave him support. So it looks like he really likes metal and doesn't like water, because water was competition for his chart. 2010 in the tiger year, he got most valuable player status. 2010 tiger year, and then in 2022 he announced his retirement, and then which was the tiger year, and then he returned again to play. And that tiger year in 2022 created what we call a seasonal wood combination, because that year, the tiger year, he was already in his rabbit luck cycle, and he's got a dragon. So the whole sequence there, we call it a seasonal wood combination. You need all three for it to work, because it's a full season, it's a set. Although if missing one, you don't get it. And so then he became output. So that locked him into an actual combination. So that was good. However, what wasn't so good, I guess, because it was he also divorced from Gisele that year. Now, you're thinking it didn't have much to do with his spouse palace. Why did he get divorced? Well, it doesn't need to happen on your personal. If it happens on your spouse's chart, then the divorce can still happen. Okay? But from the looks of it, it's probably came from her side, that she initiated, or she set down the terms, from what we kind of like here. We don't know if it's true or not, but through the grapevine and through gossip, it's saying that she did not want him to go back and play again, but he did anyway, so she divorced him. So whether or not she threw down an ultimatum and says, if you go back, I'm going to divorce you, That's it. And he called her bluff or he did not care. We really don't know because we don't know what actually goes on behind the scenes. And then I don't know why he bothered, because then the following year, 2003, he retired for good. And then he's still retired. And 2003, what was it? It was a rabbit year. And so the rabbit combined with his goat again, and it became a partial wood combination. So there you go. Tom Brady and Gisele, that's why they got divorced. But looking at their charts, they do have some combinations together. That's why they work together. He has the snakes, and she has snake on his hour and his year, and Gisele has a monkey on her hour and her year. So they both then combined, and that produced metal. And as we saw through Tom's chart and what he's achieved, he does very well when he's got metal. So combining with her, he got metal. And I guess those were the combinations, and that's why they ended up to go together, and they got married at that time. Well, yeah. And both their houses of spouse got activated at the same time they met each other. It fits. Okay? And I guess after that period where there's a clash then, and then they broke apart. And I guess maybe he thinks, he's no longer playing, then he doesn't need her anymore, or need the help from her anymore, or the influence in this case, the combinations that she was able to give him, which was the metal, and gave him a certain level of stability because he's a completely changing chart. She brings in her 2 monkeys to combine with his 2 snakes. He's got some sort of stability there. Okay, and it's the one he favored as well. It's the metal. He seems to like whenever he's gotten the metal. Okay, so that is that couple, Gisele and Tom Brady. In a way, look, they're okay for each other, but they're not the best possible matches for each other. I have to say they don't have that matching, have that much linked with each other. And what we tend to look for is the more combinations a couple has, the greater the attraction, and the more they're linked. It's much harder to break it apart if they've got those combinations together. So many combinations. It's like you've got a big knot, and you're trying to undo it. You can undo a couple, but trying to undo all of it is not as easy as someone with just like one knot, or a couple with just one knot or 2 knots. Easy unpickings, but a whole bunch of knots, it's unlikely you'll be able to unpick all of them at the same time. Unless it's a chart where there's something that's absolutely crucial that forms part of so many of their combinations. So if that gets clashed, then it breaks apart. It's kind of like something is all held together by one little pin. You can try to knock it this way and that, it doesn't. But if you manage to unplug that pin, then the whole thing falls apart by that one pin. And so that's how some couples are seemingly so interknit get blown apart. Okay? So in effect, with this, we can't really say Gisele or Tom Brady there is guilty of anything or say it's anyone's fault. I wouldn't say it. It's just kind of like they've had their time together, and unfortunately, that's the way it is. Sometimes people, after they've had what they needed from the other person in stages of their life, they're done with that person. It's either consciously or unconsciously, or in this cases, some cases astrologically wise, and that's why these things happen. So that's Gisele and Tom in a nutshell.